just love what we're doing. And like I said, it's a family atmosphere. And to expound upon what you were talking about, adding people, we've learned that we're really taking our time now, whoever we bring into the band. We're trying to add a drummer in, and it's kind of hard to find a drummer who wants to do what we do. But we'll find one. I'm sure God will put one in our path.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's really important that when you're building the chemistry of a band, I think a lot of people starting out, they think, I'll just go find my friends at school who also play instruments. So that very rarely ever works out. Like, I think bands are kind of similar to marriage in the sense that you shouldn't just go doing it with anybody willy-nilly. You want to be looking around for people who are a good fit for you. Like, even if they are good musicians, just because you and another person are a good musician doesn't mean that you're a good fit for each other in the same band. So I think it's great that you guys take that seriously, because the end result is that when you do get a band together like you guys that do fit well together, it's a much better experience in you.
The most fun that we have, though, that for me is when Carolyn and Dan and I we're spitballing and just throwing in ideas. That is a blast.
Yeah,
it's proven to be really, we come up with some good stuff that way.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best parts about being in a band is, one, you come up with ideas you never would have come up with yourself, and secondly, when you start doing that spitballing with your bandmates, it's like, oh man, we are connecting like on this really special level. Like Dan was just talking about it at church the other day during band practice about how musicians kind of share like this special bond, and it's kind of hard to explain if you're not a musician, but it's almost like
it's a language.
Yeah, it's like a secret language that you guys know, and it's really cool.
I'd like to emphasize too, Dan mentioned it, but this is a family. This is the only band I've ever been in, and I've been in lots of them, that's had that dimension.
Oh yeah,
where the wives are all involved. Carolyn's husband is involved, and it's fun.
Yeah,
we don't feel like we're robbing from our spouse.
Oh yeah,
when we go to do a gig, because everybody's together.
Yeah. And I've felt that when I watch you guys. Like, there was this one time we all went to a show together, and you guys were just hanging out getting pizza. It's like you weren't even playing that night. It wasn't a show for you guys, but you were just hanging out, getting a food together, and just being a fan. And your wives were there, and I was just like, man, that's the dream. Like, that's what you want when you're in a band, is that kind of level.
You actually, you're living together, and particularly Dan and I we butt heads a lot, and it's part of the creative process. And he's usually wrong, but because I'm such a gentle and easy to get along with guy, I just kind of acquiesce and do whatever he wants to do.
Lord forgive him.
But it's if you don't have a relationship where we can laugh and one of the things I really appreciated about Dan, when we've come to Loggerheads, we both just say, well, whatever, we're going to figure it out.
Yes.
We're not going to blow things up.
Yeah, you guys have a level of trust with each other where even if things get hairy, you can count on the other person to be willing to talk it out and come to a compromise and an understanding. That's another way that a band is like a marriage, I feel like, is if they're... It's great when you have something that, like, you have a special relationship with that person where even when things get hard, you are able to remember, like, that relationship you have with them and think to yourself, we could get through this. I want to get through this because what we have is worth getting through this for.
True. Different churches around Colorado and do that. And I was nervous all the time. I didn't really like it, but I did it because I wanted, you're a musician. You want to spread the gospel. And singing in a band, I'm surprised that I'm not nervous. Being a part of, like you said, a family, it feels comfortable. And it feels, I absolutely love this a whole lot more than before.
It's one of the best feelings on earth.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I had no clue before all this.
Yeah.